Hey everybody, welcome back. In the last lesson, we got it to where we are able to upload the image for the product to cloud storage. We are retrieving the download URL, and now we are ready to do step 6, upload the new product document to the Firestore products collection, okay? So right here, we are going to say upload document, self.upload document. But we're going to pass into it the URL, and we just want the string. So we are going to say URL, and we're going to pass in URL.absolute string. So now we're here in our upload document function, and we need to create ourselves a document reference so that we can upload a new product document to our Firestore products collection. So I'm going to say var doc ref of type document. It looks like I need to import. Oh no, it's there. Oh no, we want to import Firestore. There we go, Firebase Firestore. So we have ourselves a document reference, and then we are going to initialize a new product from our information, okay? So we did this in add edit category like so. We created a new category, and we needed to create a new initializer. Now we did this so that we could create a category instance, and then so that we could convert that category instance back into data. Now technically we don't have to do it like this. So just kind of going back and showing you how we could have done this differently is we could have done this. We could say, instead of all of that, what we could do is create right here data to pass into our document reference. For instance, we could say let data of type string any be equal to, and then we could write out right here everything that we want to pass in. So for instance, the name as name text.text, the ID as ID, or I should say, I guess you'd have to put that right here. But anyways, you get the idea. We could do it this way. I like to have the initializer as we created it, as well as the function to convert our model into a dictionary data. Because you're most likely going to be using this initializer multiple times, you're most likely going to be converting that model into a dictionary multiple times, and so it's just kind of a good thing to have this initializer and this function available to you. All right, but I just wanted to make it clear that you don't have to have some sort of function or even a model. You could just have a straight up dictionary and pass that into your Firestore call. All right, so that little segue aside, let's go ahead and say var product is equal to product .init, and we need to create a new initializer. So coming up here to our model product, we're going to create ourselves a new initializer. Okay, so I'm going to say init, and we are going to go ahead and initialize with these properties: name of type string, ID of type string, category of type string, price of type double, product description of type string, image URL of type string, timestamp of type timestamp, and let's give that a default initializer, or a default value of the timestamp at that point. And then we have stock of type int, and let's give that a default value of 0. And then we have our statements here. So we say self.name is equal to name. self.category is equal to category. Self, oh, I missed ID. Self.id is equal to ID. Self.price is equal to price. Self.product description is equal to product. Self.product description is equal to product description. Self.image URL is equal to image URL. Self.timestamp is equal to timestamp. And self.stock is equal to stock. Very good. Now let's create our function to convert our product model to a dictionary of data that we are able to upload as a new Firestore document. So I'm going to say static func model to data. We're going to return a dictionary of type string and any. We're going to pass into this function a product of type product. And we are going to say let data of type string and any equal, and we will return that data. And one thing that I'll usually do when I'm working on these models with lots of properties, just to kind of speed things up, I'll show you a little trick that I do, is I'll just copy here, paste here, and then I'll use our nice multi-cursor tool in Xcode 10, holding Control and Shift. If you just use your down arrow, you can go all the way down and then add a quotation mark. Then you can press Escape to get out of it. And then you can do holding Control and Shift again. You can also click wherever you want to add cursors, just like that. Then you can do another quotation mark, whoopsie, and then you can press the delete, not the backspace, you want the delete to get rid of the equal signs, replace that with a colon, and then we can say product, and then we can get rid of this other stuff here that we aren't needing. And then we can say product.name, product.id, product.category. Oh, I'm forgetting the commas. That's why we're having troubles. There we go. Product.price. Whoops. Product description. Product.image URL. Product.timestamp. And stock and product.stock. All right, there we go. Now we have our function to convert one of our product models into a dictionary. And we can save that. And now that we have our initializer and our function, let's go back to our add edit products VC in our admin project and say .init. And we want this one right here, the one that doesn't have stock at the end, because we're gonna go ahead and just have that be the default value. I'm gonna go ahead and do some returns here just to make it look a little bit nicer, easier to read. And now we need to input the name, ID, etc. Now in add edit category, when we initialized our category, we went ahead and just used nametext.text, unwrapped it, which is fine. But we would have to do that with multiple strings here. And we've already unwrapped them once up here, but this was in a separate function. We no longer have access to these unwrapped variables. It's not in the same scope, it's in a different function. And we could pass them to this upload document function. But you know what? Let's just go ahead and make these class variables, and then after we unwrap them, we'll set them as class variables. So we can do that here by saying var name is equal to an empty string, var price is equal to 0.0 and var product description is equal to an empty string. And then when we unwrap them here, we can say self.name is equal to name. So we're setting the class variable name equal to this name that we unwrapped. And we can say self.product description is equal to description that we unwrapped right here. And then we can say self.price is equal to the price that we converted to a double from our price string. And then down here, when we initialize our product, we can initialize it from our class variables. So I'll say name ID. Let's see here. This is going to be an empty string actually, because we're going to do the same thing kind of that we did in the add edit category, where we do a check whether or not we are editing or adding a new product. So we're going to start out with an empty string here. For category, we're going to say selected category.id. For the price, we're going to say price. Product description is product description, and the image URL is the URL that we passed into this function. All right, very good. Let me check one thing here. Okay, we already have our product to edit, so that's good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a check to see if we are editing or adding a new product so that we can set our document reference accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to say if let product to edit is equal to product to edit, in which case we are editing a product, else we are adding a new product. Okay, and remember, why does this matter? It is because if we are editing a product, we need to set the document reference to point to the existing product that we've selected. If we are adding a new product, then we are initializing a new document. Okay, so I'm going to say doc ref is equal to Firestore dot Firestore. I forget that we don't have a variable for that. Then we're going to say collection dot collection, and we are sending it to our products collection. And we're going to say dot document, and we are going to the let's see here, product to edit dot ID. There we go. And then we are going to set our product that we initialized here. We're going to set its ID because that hasn't been set yet. Product.id equal to the product to edit.id. All right, so that's if we're editing a product. If we're adding a new product, then our document reference is simply Firestore.collection at products.document. And this returns a Fire document reference pointing to a new document with an auto-generated ID, which is just what we want for this case. And then we set our product.id equal to this new docref.document ID. There we go. And now we are ready to upload this document. So we need to turn it into a dictionary for Firestore. So I'm going to say let data equal product dot model to data, and pass in our product that we just initialized, and that will turn it into a dictionary with all of the data that we need. And then we can just say docref dot set data, and we want this one here that writes to the document referred to by this reference. If the document does not yet exist, it'll be created. If we pass merge yes, the provided data will merge into any existing document. Whoops, set data, yep, that one right there. All right, so our data is data, merge, oop, I grabbed the wrong one. Set data, merge, this one right here. There we go. All right, so data, merge true, and completion is, we get an optional error, and we're going to say if let error is equal to error, then we're going to say self.handle error using our little function that we created, and we will say unable to upload Firestore document, and then we will return. If we're successful, then we're done, and we can exit. We can say self.navigation controller .pop view controller and say true. Let's clean up the spacing a little bit. Make sure everything else looks good, which I believe it does. And let's test this out. Let's save it and run it. All right, so let's test this out. Let's go to landscape photography. I'm gonna go to add product. I'm gonna say product name. Well, let's see what images we have first before I do a name. Okay, let's do this one, and we'll say product name, autumn beauty, product price $29.99. The description will say this is a beautiful autumnal piece. We'll say print size 18 by 11. I don't know. We'll say done, and then add product. And if everything goes according to plan, we should see it pop up right here. And let's check it out. Add product. Ooh, there we go. Popped up in the consumer app right here. Very, very cool. Looks like we haven't actually gotten around to fixing the price on our product cells. Let's go ahead and do that before we finish up here. So let's go to our view product cell.swift, and we need to format our price. So here in our configure cell, let's go ahead and say let formatter is equal to number formatter, and we've already done this once. So we create a number formatter. We set its formatter.number style equal to .currency, and then we can go ahead and try to convert our product price, which is a double, into a string formatted for currency. And we do that by saying formatter.string from NS number. So we need to say product.price as an NS number. And if that's successful, then we can set our product price.text equal to price. And let's save that. And another thing is, looks like we don't have the same options for our product image as we set up for our category cell. So again, I'm going to just copy this. So what we did over here, just to kind of refresh, and let's just type it out. Practice makes perfect, right? All right, so we have our product image.kf.setImage. This is the most basic way you can set an image. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit more fancy, just to match the category cell. Okay, so let's create a placeholder. I'm going to say let placeholder image equal UI image, and that is an image named placeholder. Okay. The next thing we want to do is set a indicator type, a progress activity indicator for when it's loading. So we say product image dot kf dot indicator is equal to dot activity. Oh, sorry, it should be an indicator type. There we go. And then let's create some options. These options are going to make it so that it fades, that we have a fade transition when we load images. So I'm going to say let options of type Kingfisher options info, which is equal to an array of Kingfisher options info item dot transition, and let's see here, we want this one right here, dot fade, and we'll give it a 0.2 second fade. And once that is done, we can say product image dot kf dot set image with resource, the resource being the URL, the placeholder being our placeholder, the options being our options. And then the rest of this, we can actually just delete. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and test that out. So our product cells, we should now see a fade transition and an activity indicator for new images, as well as the correct pricing. All right, there we go, $29.99 and $20, perfect. And then let's go ahead and test the editing. So let's come here to our mountains. Oh, you know what? It looks like we have something not quite working here. Let's see what's going on. Let's come back to our add edit products VC. Oh yes, and sure enough, in view did load, we are not doing any check to see whether or not we are adding a new product or editing a product. And if we are editing a product, we aren't populating our data like we should. Because what we should expect to see is when we click on one of these to edit it, that it fills out the name, price, description, and image. So let's do that. All right, so to do that, we say if let product is equal to product to edit, then we're just going to populate all those fields. So I'm going to say product name text dot text is equal to product dot name. The description, let's see, what was that called? Product description text dot text is equal to product dot product description. The product price should be product price text dot text equal to string. We're going to convert the product price double into a string. And lastly, we need to set the image. So I'm going to say if let URL is equal to URL of type string, or initialize with a string, the string being the product dot image URL. Then we'll say product image view dot content mode is equal to dot aspect fill, and we'll say product image view dot kf dot set image with resource, the resource being that URL. And then also let's go ahead and update our button. So I'm going to say add button dot set title. We're going to change its title from add product to save changes. So the title is going to be save changes for control state dot normal. And let's save that and run it. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and click on landscape, click on mountains, and there we go. Now we are populating it, and we can go ahead and test this out, see if it updates correctly. We'll say mountain range, change the price to $15.99, say it's on sale or something. Give it a little bit more description here. We'll say print size 18 by 24. Say done and save those changes. Very good. Let's see our see over here, mountain range. Looks like it's still loading the cached data. Actually, I probably just need to rerun it. Yeah, so I think that is working real good. All right, so now that we've finished that, our admin app is complete as far as we're going to be working on it in this section, in this course. And you have the ability to add new categories, edit categories, add new products, edit products. You can do quite a bit. One thing that I would recommend is just to kind of flesh out your app, make it look good. Is now I would go through and add a bunch of products to your app, and you can do that using any images that you like. But in your artable assets, I did include a folder called product images that you are welcome to use. And I would say just go ahead and start adding a bunch of products using your admin app. So one way to use these product images is as follows. So for instance, let's edit our portraits category here. I'm going to say edit category, and I'm going to change this one to just be animal kingdom. I'm going to change this image here. And what you can do is if you go to your camera roll and you drag in your images here like that, what it's going to do is it's going to switch over to photos, and then you can add directly these images here. Unfortunately, for some reason, it doesn't seem to work if you add multiple. Oh, hey, it did. Last time I tried it didn't work. Great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add these images in here. Let's see, did it work that time? Didn't seem to work that time. I wonder if it needs to be a small amount. Yeah, I don't know. It worked sometimes and didn't seem to work that time. All right, anyways, so you can add these images right in here, and then when you're going to create your, whoops, I just added a bunch of the same. Then when you're going to create your products, you'll have some nice pretty images that you can do that with. All right, so I'm going to go back to our Artable admin. I'm going to select our tiger here. He's going to be the face of our animal kingdom category. I'm going to say save changes. And then we are in the animal kingdom category. I'm going to start adding some products. Just going to say a product name, elephant product, price $15.99, into description, majestic elephant print, add tap to add image, and then say add product. And then I'm going to go through and add a bunch more of these. I'm going to speed through this part of the process and come back once I have finished that. Alrighty, so I just went through and added a few products to our Animal Kingdoms category. Looks pretty awesome now with all of these beautiful images, and added a few more to our landscape photography category as well. All right, so things are looking really good. You should be really proud of the progress you guys have made with this app. We've done a ton, so way to go. This finishes up the admin app for now. Throughout these lessons in the admin app, we've learned how to work with Firebase storage, how to upload files and images. And I do want to make the point that this process that we went through is going to be almost identical regardless of the type of file. So don't think that this process is only applicable to images. We also learned how to upload documents to Firestore, how to create our initializers, how to create that static model to data function, and a whole lot more. So hope you're happy with the progress that we're making so far. I know that I am, and I hope you guys stick with it through the rest of this section. We're about to get into some really cool stuff, and yeah, so hope you're looking forward to it. I will see you in the next one.